Hello.
Hi,
Hi,
guys.
guys.
Hey,
Everybody.
I'm so excited to see you
Hi.
all.
Oh, this
How
is
are
awesome.
you?
so are we.
I know.
We look like the fashion Brady Bunch on here with all the tiles.
I know.
Well, everyone, welcome. How fun is this?
So
I'm just so
much
happy you have
fun.
us
Hi.
together.
Welcome.
Yeah. So these circumstances are admittedly very unusual. And how are you all handling quarantine, the self-isolation?
Well, I feel like being put on another planet because I don't experience anything of Corona because I'm 16 hours a day in my atelier and then I have 1.5 minutes until I'm home. I don't see anybody, then I sleep, and next morning I'm coming back. So it feels not very different to my usual life.
Do you have customers now, or is the shop closed?
No, the shop is closed. Well, fortunately, the shop is closed because it looks here like a bomb exploded.
How are you handling things,
Yeah.
Megan?
Well, I have really enjoyed the downtime. I think it's a nice change of pace from what I'm used to. But business wise, it's kind of handicapping because a lot of the fabric vendors are closed and contractors are not working. So I've been scrambling trying to find creative ways to fill orders and keep my business going. But so far, it's been pretty good.
Sandra, how are you doing?
I've been doing really good. Of course, sucks for the corona, but it's fine. It just sucks that you can't go to the store and oh, I need a zipper. Boom, let me run to the store because that doesn't happen anymore. But normally the shops are open the 4th of May. Oh, that's soon. So thank God I don't have everything online. Like every day, their packaging is coming in, packages is going out. But for the rest, it's been pretty good. I can
And Johnny, how are you doing?
Now I'm doing great. The first few weeks, I really struggled the first few weeks. I was just so kind of paranoid and scared and worried about my health and my family's health. Once I really locked myself down, the people around me were healthy and also locking down. I could focus back on work again. And it really has given me a lot of great time to just focus on launching the new collection, supporting the show.
That's fantastic. So there's another dimension to the self-isolation I want to explore with each of you. What do fashion designers wear at home during this period?
Yeah. Well, I've been in pajamas for the past 3-4
Yep,
weeks.
same.
But I would get dressed from the waist up for my calls.
I bet you Esther dresses the exact same, right, Esther? Even during lockdown?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what
I
I
have
can
no
see of
home
each
wear.
of you
I
is
don't have it.
how I
Sorry?
know you. What I can see of each of you on
I
our
mean,
little screens is how I know you, fashion-wise. But
yeah.
who's wearing something from the waist down? Who's wearing pants?
I have pants, shorts
Let's
on.
just talk about it here.
Yeah.
Well, do you have any
Guys.
quarantine fashion tips for people at home?
Stay gorgeous. Throw away your pajamas. Stay gorgeous. Put on jewelry. Put on makeup. Put on the most fancy stuff. Stay beautiful.
I love it.
I agree. The first few weeks I called it the sweatpants apocalypse, and that's all I was wearing. And I was depressed and moody. And as soon as I started waking up every morning, getting dressed, putting on my rings, wearing real shoes, my mood changes. I feel so much better. So my advice is just like Esther's, dress up. Keep it going.
Well, I'm going to add that I understand the comfort trap now. I used to say, I don't understand it. Why do people have to be wearing sweatpants and oversized t-shirts? I don't get it.
Yeah.
Well, now I do.
Yeah.
And the trouble is when you go from that to normal clothes, regular clothes like these and what you're wearing,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in a wetsuit. I feel so constrained and
Yes,
tethered.
it is. Yeah, I agree. But I will say, like, when I do put on makeup, like a red lip or whatever, it does change my mood. So I've been trying to balance it a bit.
I have too,
Yeah.
for just the same reason. So you're on television, you're on everyone's computer, you're on Amazon Prime Video, making the cut. It's a fabulous experience, and I'm sure a surreal one for each of you. And you have a lot of fans, and we've asked them to send in questions
Let's do
At
it.
Jen Chang 1 asked, what was it like seeing yourself on Prime Video week after week? Johnny, let's start with you.
I was so nervous for the show to come out, thinking like, I don't like how my voice sounds on camera, and do I look good? Do I look bad? Am I bitchy? Am I funny? I feel like I'm so genuine on the show. It's exactly how I am, the good and the bad. And I feel like every other designer on the show, I'm like, yeah, that's Esther. Yeah, that's Megan. Like, it felt very true to who we were. And I kind of got addicted to watching it over and over because I love these people and it feels like I'm like in the room with them again.
Megan?
At first I was a little nervous, but I was just really shocked at how everyone from home keeps saying that the show did a really good job at displaying my personality. And then when I saw myself on TV, the little mannerisms and the screaming and the oh my gods and the smiles, and, oh, that's really me. And I was like, I didn't know that I like smiled that much or screamed that much. But yeah, it was fun seeing myself, and it kind of gave me a glimpse into like what people see. So I loved it. It was good.
Excellent. Esther?
I was actually surprised how I dropped my pants in this show and how vulnerable I showed myself, and I was a bit afraid of to watch it. But what I really appreciate is actually that people really got to know me so much better by watching the show. This is really 100% me, and I often get the feedback I look so strict or so distant or so hard with my urban shells, with my protection shells, which I'm wearing. So people might think that I'm not a friendly person, but in the show I was just I think 180% me. And so people could really discover my softness, and I actually really appreciate that.
At J Dank asked, how did it feel seeing your looks available on Amazon?
It was 10 times more incredible than I anticipated. Something about seeing it on this site that I know the whole world is shopping, and to see the clean imagery on the models, and it just felt so official. I was so giddy, and I'm still giddy. And it sold out so quickly. It was not what I anticipated. So it's been incredible, really incredible.
Well, congratulations, and I'm proud to say that I am now a Johnny Cota Studio customer. I bought your denim jumpsuit.
Oh my God, amazing! I love this.
I told
Tokyo
you that I
changed
loved
you
the look
forever.
in Tokyo.
Yeah.
Exactly. The streetwear look. I love that.
Esther, how about
I
for
love
you?
It's great. I'm just so disappointed that it was sold out so quickly also, because not even me managed to buy the stuff, and I really wanted to have one, and I was not able. So if there's anybody who has one in size S and maybe don't want it or send it back, please send it over to me. I want to have it and wear it. And I think it's really interesting to, we all know the process, how to produce things by ourselves, and control the production. And this was the first time that I handed over a design and someone else has completely taken over the production thing. So it's interesting, but I think it's a good school for a designer. Yeah,
Especially
I loved
at this
it.
time.
Yeah.
And Sander, how about your Sander Boss t-shirt?
The only one existing in the earth. No, it's been good. It was weird a little bit to see it, because it's something we make on the show, and then you see it on the runway, and then from the runway it goes to like the Amazon page. So it's definitely been an amazing experience, and yeah, people complain a lot. They're like, "Why is it sold out?" I'm like, "I don't know. Call Amazon." But yeah, it's been great. It's been definitely eye-opening, and then it's been a lot of fun to see it there.
Wonderful. And Megan, for you, you were so close to the win so many times.
Oh my God. Don't remind me. But I will say this, it has been very, very rewarding to see my looks on screen and see all the hard work that went behind each of the challenges, and to actually see it coming down the runway, like that's the best part for me. So that in itself was more than enough to see. So although I didn't win anything, just to see my designs on these amazing runways on Amazon is like rewarding within itself. So I couldn't be more happier.
And those are amazing runways. Just
Yeah.
cinematic. They're just spectacular.
Yeah.
I just want to acknowledge that your designs are selling out at record speeds, and you're each getting 100% of the profits. How does that feel?
Yay!
Incredible.
No, that's
It's
fantastic.
a wonderful thing. Wonderful thing.
It is.
At M. Dentry asked, what advice would you give to aspiring designers?
Oh, I've gotten this question a lot in my emails and my DMs from just a lot of people from all over asking me. And the best advice that I've given everyone is to just start anywhere. Just start. I know once you think about being a designer and having a brand and a line, like there's so many things that goes into it. I think you get overwhelmed when you think of the bigger picture. But my advice is to just start anywhere. One design, one sale, one runway show, anything. Just start and then slowly build from there. And that's how you build momentum. And also just to like be true to who you are and your aesthetic. I think that's the easiest way to, develop your aesthetic and your brand as a designer. The brand has to be you. So I think it kind of gets overwhelming when you look at other designers, but if you stay true to your aesthetic and who you are and just keep going, no matter what kind of obstacles come in your way, then I think that's how you build momentum and you can build your brand.
Esther, what advice would you give aspiring designers?
I was listening to an advice by someone else, and that spoke so much to me that I want to forward it, actually. And it came from the designer Hussein Chalayan, and he's teaching in one of the design schools here in Berlin. And he keeps on telling his students, even if your parents have money, just don't take it. Because if you're limited, this can really evoke so much creativity. And I think it's so important that you develop your own signature. And if you are limited, then you cannot go the straight way, but you go like ups and downs and to the left and to the right. And you because you're forced to do so, you're doing things differently. And this causes a lot of creativity. And I think this, you can really create something which has in the end then a lot of more value. And I really, really like that. Maybe because it's also my story, but I was so thankful because he put it into words.
It's very unexpected advice, and it's wonderful advice. So there are 4 of you here. There are 8 other designers who aren't. We couldn't have everyone live here today because it's chaotic enough with the 5 of us. We wanted to say hello to some of your favorite designers from the season.
Hey everyone, it's Johnny Coda from Making the Cut.
It's G here.
It's me, it's really me.
Martha Gottwald.
I'm Jasmine from Making the Cut.
Hi everyone, I'm Renat.
Good morning, this is Sabato.
Hi, this is Troy from Making the Cut.
It's Will Riddle from Making the Cut.
Hi, this is Megan from Making the Cut.
I'm Santa from Making the Cut.
I'm currently in New York City in my messy atelier.
I'm making this video from my studio in Shanghai.
Milano, Italy.
Paris, Ohio.
Harlem, New York.
In Los Angeles.
Making the Cut has been amazing to me.
It really helped a lot of us small and young businesses kind of thrive by attention.
There is a lot more curiosity about me.
We're getting some orders.
There's orders that are coming in, and
the best part about Making the Cut was getting to share my vision, getting to share what I love to do.
To be there and really concentrating in making the clothes.
The best part of being on this show was meeting everyone.
Meeting 11 other designers.
11 of the coolest people I've ever met.
Being surrounded by so many other creative minds.
Having so much fun with the rest of the cast.
We still talk, we still hang out.
But I think it's very hard for those relationships to happen in the real world, in the industry.
In fashion, you have friends, but you rarely have friends that are similar principle.
And for the first time in my life, I'm surrounded by all these people that 100% get it.
And thank you so much for introducing me to one of my best friends in the world, Sandra Boss.
That is there forever, darling.
Super thankful for that.
G1 and I, we go to Hot Pot. We're always at Hot Pot.
We kind of went into it holding hands, and then we left holding hands too.
The hardest part about being on Making the Cut is watching one of your friends go home every week.
It was difficult for us to be competitors.
To go in and perform under pressure, that was one of the toughest parts.
The hardest thing about making the cut was not making the cut.
Have to have quiet. I'm not a quiet bitch.
The hardest part about the show was the jet lag.
Everything was hard.
The hours that we worked.
It was just like, oh my God, I'm not gonna finish this. How am I gonna get this done? This is crazy.
The biggest surprise for me was day one when we heard about the show itself.
Being told to pack your bags and go to Paris.
You're gonna have to make clothes for 95% of the population. It was like, Sanders going home.
Biggest surprise for me was when I found out that Naomi Campbell was one of our judges.
Nobody could have told me that Naomi Campbell was gonna walk around the corner and I would have been like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. No, absolutely not.
I was like jumping up and down like a 5-year-old.
When Kareen walked out, that's when I knew they pulled a wild card.
I just want to say thank you so much for your kind messages and for letting me know that you connect with my story.
I have no words to explain everything that I'm feeling right now with getting all this love and support from everybody.
I was and will be very moved by all of your comments.
Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for all the love and the support.
Thank you all so much for watching Making the Cut. It's truly an unbelievable experience.
So thank you for watching Making the Cut on Amazon Prime Video.
And thank you for everybody being so nice to me on Instagram. What is that all about? Woo!
Thanks for watching Making the Cut.
I hope everyone is staying safe and healthy.
And hope to see more of you guys in the future.
I love you.
Thank you for watching Making the Cut on Amazon Prime Video.
How
was that?
Nice.
He looks good, honey. Yes.
Oh, that was
yes.
Yeah, that was awesome. Oh my gosh. I love those faces. I miss those faces.
Yes,
Right?
we all do. You all loved each other so much.
True.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't want to in the beginning.
I'm wondering if you will be able to find a second group that awesome.
To be honest with you, I don't think so. Can I also tell you that what touched me so much, what moved me, was the fact that the group of you really built a community. You weren't squabbling, you weren't backbiting, you were helping each other, you were supporting each other, and it was just very, very moving to be able to bear witness to that. And very unusual.
Yeah, I was writing today with Johnny, and I told him that it was so amazing. I mean, we were fighting for our lives head to head for this $1 million, and we felt so little. I mean, we didn't feel any competition at all. And when he won, I mean, I was just so happy for him, and it was no bad feelings at all, no regrets, and I didn't expect that. So I think, yeah, the group was really amazing. I'm really thankful to have been able to be part of this particular group. Thank you, everybody.
Wow, me too. Thank you, everybody.
Sander, you received lots of tweets and feedback about the accessibility of your looks. Has the show affected your business?
Yes, I started this boss line and I started to web shop and stuff. So this is kind of like accessible looks we did now that were kind of inspired on the runway looks. Because, you know, they were absolutely very accessible on the show. And that's been going really, really good. I'm drowning. She ain't going back to the quick any day soon, honey. To the hammer place.
Yes, that's good.
So the Miss Boss line will continue to exist. They will come out together now. Me and my sister are working on the new one, and it's going to be the Sander Boss Couture line next to the wearable line, and they will be fine-tuned on each other. But it was kind of born out of the show, so that's amazing, you know. And I'm happy that I could, you know, do it on my own little terms. You know me, Miss Thang.
No, I do know you, and I think it's wonderful that the show really has given you two different platforms now, because you certainly came into the show understanding couture, but now you also understand ready-to-wear in a way that you wouldn't have otherwise, and I think it's great. And Sander,
Absolutely, and that's
do you have a
what-
favorite look? Sander, do you have a favorite look from the show?
For myself?
Yes.
I'm gonna say it's a tie for me between the donut dress and the runway for the streetwear with all of the like the pulling down. Looking back at it when I saw it on the
Yeah.
runway, I was like, I should have done that
Yeah.
for the couture week. God damn it! But
Yeah.
oh well. But that's still one of my
Yeah,
favorites.
yeah, yeah.
Everybody's like,
That was
it
amazing.
looks like
Yeah.
a broken swan. I'm like, oh, sweetie.
And I have to ask you, is it hard being the youngest designer on the show?
Honestly, not really, because I think my age is one thing, but that's a number. At the end of the day, I think I can, at least at the bare minimum, hold myself up to anybody else on the show just by my skill level, my craft, and my my intelligence and my creativity. I don't think that just the number of my age has anything to do with it, because I think I've represented myself very well, and if anybody can do it better on the runway, they can show me. The extra cut and send it to me.
So, Sander, for you, what was the best part of being on the show?
I think for me, my favorite moment, even looking back at this, when I got like upset at the temple that you were like, you and I were like, you have to make accessible. Because I was like, no, I have a little tantrum, as any good 24-year-old would do. But that about that you can see being like upset and like almost like a child, like I don't want to make wearable clothes, and then turning it and putting my cream on it and then making my own spin to that. And I think that was I like that episode the most, or like my trajectory on that episode, because it shows I think also my character and how I would take on things, So that was my favorite moment. Win, of course.
We have a little clip we want to share.
Oh Lord.
I'm already like a little bit on the fantasy side of fashion. So you're gonna go there. It's clearly. If I have to drag this bitch all the way to the finish line, I will. Don't worry about nothing. Your hoo-ha is not out, but I'll give it a few inches just for Tim's, satisfaction. I can't do this anymore.
An idiot.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, so good.
Yeah,
Well,
that's me.
you certainly entertained us. That's for sure, Sander.
Well,
And
it
what
was my
did you
pleasure
learn?
to do. Well, I've learned how to make wearable clothes. Who would have known after this 24 long years tour? She really learned how to make wearable stuff. And I think I've also learned, I think looking at myself, I think I've also learned that I've been always very smart about my life, and that that's maybe the age thing, that I'm like, I look at myself and I see this young kid, but then when I listen to it and the work that I'm like, you're on the right path, kid. You know what I mean? Stick with it. You are the future of fashion, even if it wasn't denied. And, I'm proud of myself most of anything, that I got myself out of that little hamburger place and now I have a successful running business, So that maybe learned the most.
There were several moments when you were very frustrated with the judges and even with me
Yes.
about our pushing you into the accessible mode. There's that look.
Yeah, I know. Still angry. No, I think it was perfect for me because I'm very much like dance to the beat of my own drum. So you almost have to piss me off, for lack of a better term. I know you probably have a better term for it, but you kind of almost need to like take me and shake me and be like, no, god damn it, bitch, we're gonna do it like this, and then it kind of fire again from, okay, you want me to do a t-shirt, I'll do a t-shirt, and then it lights that spark up. So whenever you want something done for me, piss me off. Best advice I can give you.
So are you grateful for that push?
Yes, very grateful. Very, very grateful. And I think I showed my gratefulness, the that I think I can say that I'm grateful, but I think I showed you people that I was grateful by taking it in and doing something with it and continuing that on through my life.
Yes, you evolved tremendously, and it was a beautiful thing to be able to see, to be able to observe with you.
Thank you. Yeah, it was fun with you too, Tim. Even though you're sometimes confused on things. Thank God they did like in the show the little like, explanations. Because I was a little.
Well, I'm thinking that the next time if I'm having my Tim talks, I'm going to begin everything with "Hey, babe."
Right?
Yeah.
And if somebody pisses off, you just be like under your breath.
So for the rest of you, was Sander adorable or did he drive you insane? Johnny?
Well, he was my next door. He
Horrible.
was my table neighbor in Paris as soon as we arrived, and at first I was like, "Oh my god, I'm in love with him," and then I was like, "Oh my god, he will not shut up." But in general, and in the end, I mean, I was so grateful for his energy all the time. And the moment he got sent home, I remember Esther and I going back to the workroom and being like, "It's so quiet. No one's saying bitch," you know. So I really appreciated it. I love Sander.
Esther? Did Sander drive you crazy?
He did,
Oh,
yeah.
Esther
I
for
mean,
sure.
I'm
Yeah,
really
Esther for sure.
what?
Esther for sure. I drove crazy.
Yeah, because I'm so quiet. I don't even listen to music when I work. I'm so concentrated, and I was like, "Oh, can he just please shut up?" Yeah. So, but you get to love someone, yeah, and I did. I really did. And I said this already, but I would have enjoyed so much not being forced to work, but just sit there on my table and just watch him all the time. Watch him how he's working, because I think that's really amazing, and it was wonderful to experience that.
And Megan, how about for you? Was Sander psychological warfare?
Oh my God. When I
You
first met him,
can be honest, Megan.
I was like, I cannot stand him. I'm like, he will not shut up. Like, I'm like, who has that much to say all the time? But then, like, towards the end, I really grew to love him so much. And when I left the show, I missed that chatter and those little Senderisms. And yeah, he was one of my favorite people. So in the beginning, I was like, oh my gosh, shut up. But after a while, I was like, I cannot get enough of him.
And now we have a clip for the Queen of Black in Berlin.
If there were ever an opportunity to introduce color, it's this. And I'm looking at, quite frankly, a sea of black.
Exactly.
All these wonderful design details that you have in the pant, I just feel it all gets lost. And I'm not denigrating the black. It's just, you've been black on black on black on black on black.
But I have some
Dark.
white. Sorry. Can't you see it?
I remember this black on black on black. You need to make a Giphy out of that. Black over black.
Black.
But at the end of the day, your lack of convincing the judges about your growth beyond black was $1 million mistake, I have to say. How do you feel about it?
No regrets. No regrets.
Good.
It's interesting because a lot of people approached me saying like, Esther, are you stupid? This bag was $1 million, was just 5 centimeters in front of you, and you don't grab it because you don't want to send like 3 pieces in color on the runway? I said, yeah, exactly, that's why. Because I don't want to use it again. This is my universe.
You can say it, it's fine. It's fine.
I don't dare
I mean,
anymore.
Esther,
I put a t-shirt. Yeah.
no, I have to say, one of the things I love most about you is your integrity and the fact that you stand so profoundly and steadfastly by your brand and what it is. It's very, very admirable. And it's a wonderful quality in a designer. How has the show affected your business?
Oh, completely. I mean, well, maybe I can answer the one question, like what did I appreciate it the most in the show? And that was that for 10 weeks, I was just able to do creative, nothing else, just playing, experimenting, doing lovely things, being creative. No accounting, no emails, no phone calls, no organization, no production. And that was the biggest gift which was given to me at this point of my life. And that's, I mean, I was able to pull out this creativity I was not able to before, because I was always distracted by other things. And I gained so much confidence in that I am creative. I really took it very seriously. And I have now regular drops of these t-shirts, and I'm really telling the story about my whole journey, and people really love it. And I mean, I have so much orders, I don't even know how to proceed. So yeah, people have to come in and help me, and yeah, I'm really so looking forward to what's coming next.
Well, your success is a high-class problem with too many orders and too many things
I
happening.
know.
And I have to say, it
Look at
was
her
wonderful
complaining.
to watch your growth, both as a designer and as an individual. It was wonderful. Do you have a favorite look from the show, yours or other designers?
My favorite looks from someone else was definitely on the 5th episode. It was the streetwear episode on the Tokyo Plaza, at the Tokyo Plaza. And it was Sanders really haute couture looks. I really loved them.
Esther, I'm shipping one in black to you as we speak, honey.
I would wear it right away. Yeah, and then for myself, I really loved the haute couture dress, because that was for me a milestone that I just was pushed back to play on the playground and discover this other part in me. And I really love to do more elaborated pieces, big pieces, red carpet pieces, or I would just love to do this.
Well, I loved those looks also, and what I also loved, and there's just not enough time in the show to be able to portray everything, but I loved your inspiration for the hair. Da Vinci's Lady with an Ermine. I mean, it just was so, to make something that is ancient so modern is such a wonderful thing. You know, also speaking of hair and headpieces, viewers would like to know more about the headpieces that you used in the streetwear episode. What inspired you?
I was inspired by the Monster Cafe. I mean, you can hardly see it, I know, because I turned it all into black. But there was so much going on their heads, on basically everywhere. So I said with the streetwear challenge, I wanted to twist my style a bit more, younger and more streetwear, and to do something crazy on the head. Was really a Japanese young girl inspiration. And I bought, it was just a long rope of leather fringes I bought in one of the stores, and I didn't know what to do first, but sometimes it just happens. When I see something, it feels right, then I need to take it, even if I don't know yet what to do with it. And then I had it in my hands, my styles were done. I thought, okay, can I put it on the shoes? No. Okay, let's do a great something sculpture headpiece. That was it.
Well, it was wonderfully memorable. For you, what was the hardest part of being on the show?
Not knowing what to expect. That was the hardest, because and I think this was my big chance, and also the big chance for Amazon. I think I can say that it was the first series, and so I couldn't really, look another the first series and know what's going to happen, because in all the casting talks, they said, like, yeah, it's more about business, it's not so much about sewing. And I mean, you guys all remember we had lots of papers we had to fill in, and then it was about our skills, and they asked if we can draw, if we can do pattern, or if we can sew. And I was looking at this like, I can't do anything of those three things. So why should I go to this show? And then I said, okay, I cannot do no cross at all. So I did a tiny little crosset. Okay, I can draw because I can put on paper what I envision. And then they all pretended like, yeah, you're gonna be fine. And then once in, I think it was mid of mid of June. No, mid-May. It was mid-May. Then when they announced, like, okay, you're going to be on the show, said, yeah, just a little side note. We would recommend to use the last 4 weeks until you leave to New York for training your sewing skills. I was like,
Just a little side note.
Well, look how
but
well
I
you
survived.
did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it. It's great.
Also, that sense of not knowing what's going to happen next is something that Heidi and I cultivate. We want that to happen because it's just like the fashion industry. Who knows what's going to happen next?
It is.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true. Now, let's take a look back at the partnership that we have loved to watch. Megan and Johnny.
You will be collaborating on a 3-look mini collection.
The first collab is Johnny and Megan. I love Johnny.
Let's see how you feel on another day. But this looks full tilt, Megan.
So even like this, if this had zippers?
Well, I don't want to be like the zipper guy. I think that we could make the top a little bit more me, and some of my pieces we can bring in.
And is it too early for me to ask what the more accessible look is, what would go into production?
This would be more of the accessible.
It's a little early to ask. This was our intention, and as we're putting it together, it's becoming quite complex.
The top isn't, but the pan is, definitely. So I think...
No, wait, one sec.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm a little bothered.
Why?
Because you're like changing all these things right in front of Tim. And
I think the time, the stress of the time is getting to you, that we have to finish it, but...
I'm not stressed, babe. I just feel a little like betrayed.
You do?
Yeah.
How?
In this conversation. I don't want to change this so this is the accessible look.
We can change the bottom to something that's easier.
What I'm saying is I don't want to change the bottom because so your top can be the accessible look.
This looks like a collaboration.
I think it's really 50-50. You see both of them.
Bringing that femininity into your work really makes that leather jacket pop. And having that kind of masculinity and that edge brings you to a whole different level.
Have you always done black and white?
I was pulling out colors and Johnny got a little scared, so...
Well, I wouldn't use the word scared. I would say differently inspired.
We had a lover's quarrel,
We did. We had a
actually.
moment, but, you know, we worked through it.
Yeah, we worked through it.
I think you did a really good job.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I finally got good feedback after the collaboration with Megan, and I'm like ready to take this next one and run with it.
I'm very into this.
I like
I
this.
really like this.
Beautiful movement.
Yeah. I like this.
Nice top, huh?
Yeah.
Very nice.
Oh, and I like how it's open on the sides there.
I love the top.
Judges, Johnny and Megan were our favorites tonight. Johnny, you are the winner today.
I thought the campaign was very strong. It felt new and exciting and it felt emotional.
You did a fantastic job today as well.
Oh my God, thank you.
You really did.
Wow, Johnny's looks are amazing. I love them. I feel like the dress has kind of been there, done that. And I kind of...
mine?
Yeah.
Okay, keep
No,
going,
but
keep going.
I love the jumpsuit and the jacket. I'm just being honest.
But really, the assignment
Was the campaign.
and Johnny, you just nailed it. You are today's winner.
Thank you.
Congratulations. I just want to say that there's nobody I'd rather lose to here than him.
Right?
You are the only designer who doesn't have a winning look.
I know.
Esther is finished and is ready and willing to help me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I just don't think it's fair that I work that hard and he doesn't.
Part of the reason why I think I liked the first look the most was because it was much edgier and it reminded me of some of Esther's work or Johnny's work.
I agree.
I
I
disagree.
had that same
I'm
feeling.
so sorry, I disagree. I don't think that's
For
fair.
the first look, I had the same feeling. I have to admit, I did.
Just because it's black?
Johnny, I thought was store ready.
Yeah,
No,
for sure.
No,
I agree.
sorry.
Yeah,
no,
I agree.
The dress,
No,
the jacket.
No,
Yeah.
No.
Megan, I'm sorry, but you're not making the cut.
So, Megan and Johnny, clearly your relationship had its ups and downs throughout the season. Any air you want to clear while you're both together?
I just want to say that I'm very happy for Johnny, and it was really hard to compete against someone that you have so much respect for and that you have so much admiration for. And I just love what he's built and his brand and how long he's put into it. And it was just really hard to compete against him. So, and I'm just so happy that he won. And although I do think that, you know, I kind of was the underdog and didn't get some of the recognition that I think I deserved and some of the hard work that I put in, I'm just really proud of what he did. And, you know, I just have a lot of admiration for him. And our relationship was a little complicated on the show, but as I said in the Tokyo Challenge, like there's no one on the show that I'd rather lose to than him.
And
Wow.
Johnny?
Thank you, Megan. I feel like Megan and I had such a crazy relationship. We were always pit against each other. Like, you know, first first we worked together and we had some fights, but we prevailed and we got really close and we became really close on the show. And so often the judges would pull us up together and we'd have to like kind of fight against each other, and it felt so unfair.
Yeah, it was
like
hard.
How do you fight? Yeah,
It
how do you
was
fight
so
against your
unfair.
friend, you know, who you think is doing a great job? And I mean, Megan, from day one, I said she is the most professional one here. She is always the first one done. She is the fastest. She is fashion forward. And I learned so much during our collaboration, how I can lighten up, how I can appeal to a more feminine customer. I really value my time with Megan so much. And I hated that we were always pitted against each other. Even episode, you know, yeah, when we're in the top 4 and it's just between Megan and I was gutted. Like, I hated that moment. I hate, you know? And all we could do was say our piece, say why we think we did a great job, and then it was in the judges' hands. So you know, the internet can be a crazy place, and I feel like a lot of internet is like Johnny against Megan, you know, and people will post on my page like, oh, I was really rooting for you, or I can't believe you pushed Megan out on that one. It's like, guys, I love Megan. And this is a competition, and it was up to the judges, and things just played out how they were, and I know we'll be friends for a very long time, and I'm thrilled with our time together.
So Johnny, I know that people online are saying you received a lot of help in the competitions.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to talk a little bit about that help?
Totally. You know, on camera, I get help twice. I get Renat helping me during a moment, Esther helping me during a moment, and I'm so grateful. But that help combined, it was about 20-25 minutes of help during this whole season, you know, and I think we are sending the wrong message to people if we think that's a bad thing to not ask for help when you need it. I mean, every person in this industry who's successful is surrounded by a team. That, you know, a team, assistants, every judge on that judging panel has a team to help them make their dreams a reality. And so for me, asking a friend for help, and it's more about the friend being more generous to say, yes, I will help you sew this hem real quickly because I want to win for my designs being fantastic, not because you're faulted for a sloppy hem. So I hear some of the critiques, but I really feel like I would encourage every young designer, every young business person, or any person, even if you're not in business, ask for help when you need it.
I am 1,000% in agreement, and I want you to keep saying those words. So Johnny, do you have a favorite look of yours or another designers from the show?
Well, my favorite look is Sandra's damn donut dress. You know, I was obsessed with it.
Honey.
And it was episode 2, and we had all
with zippers.
Yes, no zippers, yes leather. But we had also just started the competition, so to see such extreme creativity going down the runway, it really lit a fire under my ass. I was like, holy shit, look at what's going down the runway. I really need to step it up. So my favorite thing of the season was that, you know, and of mine, my favorite piece was my finale runway show. I sent down this model in like a leopard print trench coat, but like the leopard was like gradient size, so it got bigger and bigger and bigger. And at the bottom it said Coda. And I just wanted like Heidi and Naomi, who are always bugging me about my brand names. It was just like my cheeky moment to them. Like, this is for you guys. And I learned graphic design, and I learned graphic design, and I learned all these skills to make that coat have my DNA that I've done for so long, but really push myself to a new aesthetic, something to excite people and will show I've grown as a designer. And I think it's in that one piece.
Wonderful. I also want to say about Sanders' donut couture design, it was the noisiest look of the season.
Oh,
Yeah.
There was a damp there. But I created it for Martha. I used the mesh, but I'm used to work with like the crinoline and the mesh, but I couldn't find it in the Parisian store, and the only thing I had was the paper to keep it up. So I was like, fuck, we're gonna make some noise on the runway. What did we say? Noise? Voila.
Megan, what was your favorite look from the season? Yours or someone else's?
I loved Sanders, the Tokyo challenge at the temple. I love both of those looks and how they switched tops at the end of the runway. I was obsessed with the female look. It's something I would totally wear, and I thought it was so innovative and so fresh and so directional and so the future that I was obsessed with it. So that was definitely my favorite look. It was so memorable. A favorite look of mine, I get a lot of comments about the spiderweb dress. And I also love my Tokyo temple, the final look with the skirt and the pant underneath. That's been like a #1 request. And the kimono suit. So those would probably be my 3 favorite looks from the season. And the fly girl outfit. I get a lot of comments about that. So I really love those 4 looks. So yeah, I was proud of those the most.
Megan, for you, what was the hardest part about being on the show?
For me, the hardest part was, I think, the time constraints. I was used to it, but there was so much more that I wanted to do. So that was difficult for me. And then also, I think the judging was a little hard for me too, because each week I felt like I worked really hard and, you know, I created something that I loved, and to not have the judges love it was a little disheartening, but that was definitely tough for me to deal with that every week. And then to be so close to winning so many times and have so many positive critiques and then not quite get there, that was difficult. And towards the end, I was literally running out of steam, so to speak. So
No, it's understandable. And I felt your frustration also, I have to say.
In the words of the internet, Megan, you were robbed.
Well, Megan, I just have to add that your fans love you. The viewers of the show love you. And it was so hard to see you go.
it was tough. It was really hard. As you can see, I still get emotional about it, but yeah, it was tough.
Very. Well, I was with all of you making the show, and I get emotional watching it. Well, clearly, this has been an epic journey, and I'm so proud of each and every one of you. Let's take a look back at some of the best moments from the season. This season on Making the Cut.
Yes, it's $1 million.
This is adorable.
The movement on this is beautiful.
Yes, stepped it up.
Beautiful.
I love that it gives you that surprise in the back. Feels like they had a vision.
He's showing us what he's good at.
Oh my God, look what you did. There's $1 million at stake.
I'll split the $1 million with you.
Oh my God, you think you're gonna win?
And they're not going to give it to any designer
Stress is getting to me.
who doesn't demonstrate that they have fight.
Oh, wait, one sec. I just feel a little, like, betrayed.
And I mean an intense fire in your belly. You have to have this. You can't do anything else unless you do have this.
I've had a problem with you for every assignment. I have to be very honest.
We all think of the fashion industry as being about glamour, but we also know it's about a lot of grit.
You don't realize your breaking point until you hit it.
Maybe certain people can't handle the pressure.
The studio is not big enough for all of us.
I have not seen anything that I personally want to have.
But I think it's gone to recipe of disaster.
I don't know who would want to have it.
And I believe in you.
Esther, don't be afraid. Everything you want is on the other side of fear.
I know you have the fight.
I have to put my foot down to the judges.
I know you have the fire.
Wow. That is beautiful.
So, cut through the noise.
Fear is very necessary to grow.
I have to give this 2,000% because I am fighting for my life right now.
Winning this could change my life.
Like I've kind of been in this cocoon process, kind of preparing myself for like this metamorphosis.
Don't send me home.
I'm already like a little bit on the fantasy side of fashion.
You're gonna go there.
It's clearly.
I loved both your outfits. I felt a lot of strength from your woman. It's a fantasy though, and I love it.
It is so beautiful.
Megan the Fool.
I've been pushing my boundaries and really proving to myself that I can do anything.
I'm fine, no matter what the judges will say.
Have any of you have changed your mind?
I changed my mind.
I changed my mind.
I want to give you another chance. Congratulations, you're making the cut.
I'm gonna build a new generation of fashion.
Wow.
I have to say,
I love that.
making the cut is an emotional roller coaster from laughter to tears. And I just want to repeat how proud I am of each of you. Oh, boy. A few more questions that everyone at home wants to know. Lessons learned?
I know what I can do, and I'm really proud of myself that I became so much more a businesswoman. I learned a lot, took a lot home. Yeah, just thankful.
Joseph in the finale, he said it best. He said, commercial is not the enemy of creativity. And it's what I really learned on the show. I was creating more commercial looks than I kind of ever have in my entire career, but you can still be creative, and it's fusing those things together that makes it accessible to a wider audience. That was a huge lesson for me.
It's a big one. Megan, for you?
The biggest lesson I've learned, I think, is just to keep going. I think throughout the show, that was kind of like an underlying theme. Like for me, every challenge, like whether it was good critique, whether I was close to winning or not quite winning, just to keep going and to know that, you know, as long as you keep going, like good things can come out of it. And I think that's the lesson that I came in already knowing. And I think it was even more solidified once I was on the show, and to like go all in. I think even with my brand and just starting it, I kind of tiptoed around it and put my foot in the water, but not quite fully be in. And I think I did that a lot with a lot of my designs. And I just remember the last runway, and Tim, you just told me to not bite off of the crocodile leather, to go all in. And I think that was a big lesson for me as far as my business and how I want to approach my business as a businesswoman, and my life in general is to like keep going and go all in.
Keep going is an excellent lesson. Any of the rest of you, anything else you want to say or get off your chest?
I just want to thank everyone for their support and the emails and the DMs. And it was so overwhelming, and I didn't really expect it. And I didn't expect everyone to be so receptive to my story and my brand and, you know, just my journey. And I think that's been the most rewarding part of me, is to get emails saying that I inspired someone or that they could relate to my story. And I think that within itself is much more rewarding than I could ever get from the show. And I just want to thank everyone and the viewers for that. It's amazing.
Well, I want to say for me that this entire experience, making the cut, has been so special. Sorry. It's been so special because of you. And I am a better person for having known you and having had the opportunity for us to work together. And it's just been extremely fulfilling and rewarding. And I do it again in a heartbeat. And I'm just so grateful to you for being such fabulous people. I mean, you are great designers, but you're also great, great people. And I love and adore you. And I want to thank everyone watching. I want to watch. Sorry, I've got to get over this. I want to thank everyone for watching the season of Making the Cut. And as we all know, this entire season is available now on Amazon Prime Video. Watch it again, watch it a third time, watch it a fourth time. It never gets tired or stale. It's a fabulous show. Thank you all.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Thanks so much for your support and for tuning in to the Making the Cut Season 1 reunion. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more on Amazon Prime Video's YouTube.